Everybody, and happy Thursday as we approach the weekend, and happy first day of spring. Yay. Yeah, and spring is definitely in the air and tickling my nose, and all these Bradford pear trees are driving me crazy. But that's okay. So, tonight, I thought for my practice, what I would do is do a little heart opening. So I think we kind of need to do that. Hey, Kelly. Just to open up our hearts, because there's a lot of negative stuff out there right now, a lot. And so I think we need to kind of just throw some love out there. So everybody that wants to join in now can go ahead and join live, of course. And if you want to watch it later, you can. Absolutely. Grab your props, whatever you want. I've got a blanket, 2 blocks, and a purple bolster tonight. But of course, you're welcome to whatever you want. And if you need a strap, go ahead and get that. And we'll go ahead and start. Hey, Kelly, you look so cool. We'll start with some sun salutations. So go ahead and find your wall. Not that it was lost. That sounds so silly, doesn't it? And we'll start to do some sun salutations, and then we'll go ahead and come into our practice. So as we go to the wall, make sure you've got enough room so you don't hit your head. You know your drill on this. We're going to come into mountain pose, bringing our feet to about hip width apart, and bringing the arms down by the side. Relax the shoulders. Let's start to get that deep breath going, deep yoga breath, because like I discussed on Tuesday, with everything that's going on in the world right now, we don't need to be breathing on each other, but we really need to be focusing on our breath and trying to settle our minds a little bit. So let's get the breath going. Nice deep inhales through the nose, expanding the belly. And on the exhale, releasing through the nose and pulling the navel back towards the spine. Just focus on your breath. Root your feet down into the mat. On your next inhale, let's bring the arms up, interlace the fingers. On the exhale, we're going to bend to the left. Inhale back to center, and exhale, bend to the right. Inhale back to center, separate your hands, soften your knees, and fold forward into your standing forward bend, Uttanasana. And I know I just heard Kelly go, ah. Letting your head lead you on the inhale, rise back to standing, palms come together, hands into your heart. Step to the wall, extend your arms fully. On the exhale, we're going to bend those elbows, come on down. The kiss is optional. Inhale, pushing back up. On your next inhale, you're going to take your left leg back, making sure that the right knee is stacked over that ankle. Very important. Not going forward of the ankle. Just lengthening through that back heel. Then we're going to inhale, stepping up. And on your next inhale, take your right leg back. Once again, we're going to lengthen out through that heel. Make sure that the left knee is stacked over the ankle. And breathe. Inhale, stepping back up. And exhale, walk out into half down dog. So we're going to fold ourselves into that L shape. Lengthen the tailbone across the room. Breathe it out. Try to keep your neck neutral instead of letting your head hang down. Then we'll inhale, coming back up. Push away from the wall. On the inhale, taking your arms up. On the exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, flattening your back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise back to standing, always letting your head lead you first. Hands into your heart, into Anjali Mudra. On the next inhale, taking your arms out to the side and up. Interlace your fingers once again with the index fingers pointing. On the exhale, we're going to bend to the right this time. Then we'll inhale back to center and exhale, bend to the left. Inhale back to center, separate your hands, soften your knees, and fold forward into your standing forward bend. Letting your head lead you. On the inhale, rise back to standing. Palms come together, hands into your heart. Step to the wall and extend your arms. On the exhale, we're going to bend those elbows, coming down. Again, the kiss is optional. Inhale, straightening the arms up. On your next inhale, take the right leg back this time. Lengthen out through the heel, making sure that the left knee is stacked over the ankle. And we're going to inhale, stepping up. And on your next inhale, take your left leg back. And I'm trying a different thing tonight, so I've got my mat diagonal, and we're going to see how that works. So that you don't get my feet right in your face or my butt. Inhale, stepping up. And exhale, walking out into half down dog. I'm also trying not to rip the poster off the wall like I did when Beth was here. Inhale, coming back up, pushing away from the wall. On the inhale, take your arms up, palms come together. On the exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, flatten your back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, let your head lead you as you rise back to standing, palms into Anjali Mudra or prayer pose, and down by your side. So then we'll go ahead and come back to the top of our mats. And like I said, I've got mine diagonal today, so hopefully that will allow me to not be in your face and more you can see what's going on. All right, so let's come back into mountain pose. We're going to bring the feet to hip width apart or wider. And the arms down by your side, palms are open, full of energy. Stand up nice and tall, relax your shoulders. Let's just take a few breaths to really root our feet down into the mat, to really get the breath going. If you've had a hectic day or a very stressful day, which is pretty much every day right now, you kind of need to catch that breath, you know, and just feel yourself grounding into the mat. So relax your shoulders down your back. Breathe. Nice deep breaths. On your next inhale, let's take the arms up, bringing the palms together. On your exhale, soften your knees as you swan dive into your standing forward bend. Taking your hands either to the backs of your shins, or backs of your legs, backs of your shins. Well, technically it is. Or you can have them to your shins if you prefer. You can have your hands to the mat, or if you want to rest on the blocks, that's fine as well. Just keep the knees nice and soft. That takes the weight off of your lower back. This is a really great pose for allergies. So for me, it's really nice right now because there's a shortage of distilled water, so I can't use my neti pot for my allergies. And right now my allergies are horrible because of all the Bradford pear trees. So thanks to all the people who are supporting that. I appreciate that. Maybe I'll find some this weekend. We'll see. I have a little bit, but I have to leave that for Ken because he needs it in his CPAP. So if you want to grab hold of opposite elbows, you can just hang heavy, or you can sway side to side. That's up to you. Or you can just stay in your standing forward bend. This is pendulum pose for obvious reasons. But, you know, some people like it, some people don't. It's all good with me. Just keep the breath going. Then we're going to come to a stop. Bring the hands to the mat. On your next inhale, we're going to take the right leg back. So now your left knee is going to be stacked over your left ankle. You can keep that back heel lifted, or you can set it down slightly on your mat. You're going to root down into your feet. Inhale and rise into warrior one. Bringing your arms up with the palms facing one another. Your arms are about shoulder width apart. Just make sure the left knee is still stacked over that ankle, and it should be if you set that before you rose up into this. Keeping your body at center, so you don't want to lean forward. You know, you just want to kind of be centered in this as much as you can. If your arms start to get tired, you can always bring them into prayer. Just one more nice deep breath. Then we're going to exhale the hands down to the hips. We're going to step the back leg in and then straighten the front leg. So now they're slightly separated. And the hips are pointed to the front of the room, or in my case, to the corner, kind of. All right, we're gonna bring the hands behind us, and you can either interlace your fingers like that, or you can just push the palms together like you have a beach ball. And then we're gonna lengthen those arms to the floor and open up our chest into extended intense side stretch. Now you can look forward, or you can look up to the ceiling, but if you have any kind of dizziness issues, just look forward. Just breathe. Feel the shoulders pull back. The heart is open, or at least starting to get there. Then we're going to bring the hands back to the hips, and we're going to fold halfway over the left leg. So if you have your blocks out in front of you and you want them for pyramid pose, then go ahead and have them. You also have the option of putting your hands to the mat. So we're going to exhale, folding halfway. You can stay right here, or you can fold all the way down, taking your hands either to the blocks or the mat. And then I want you to shift your left hip back, and the right hip will come forward. If you need to bend the front knee to give yourself a little bit of room, go ahead and do so. You can keep it straight if you want, but try to bring your torso towards that leg. Just breathe. I know this one's a little intense, but we'll be done in just a second. Then on your next inhale, you're going to bring your back leg forward to join your left leg, which would be the front. Get it? Back, front, left, right. Yep, I'm good. And then on your next inhale, you're going to take your left leg back. Make sure that you can see your right knee stacked over that ankle. Root down into your feet, and again, that back heel can be lifted or set slightly down. Rise up into warrior one. So once again, you want the arms about shoulder width apart, palms are facing each other, and your body is at center. And we're just breathing, bringing some strength into our bodies, opening up our hearts. It's good stuff. One more nice deep breath. Then we're going to bring the hands down to the hips, step the back leg in, straighten the front leg, level out your hips before you even get started. Then we'll bring the hands behind us. You can interlace them or push them together. Lengthen towards the floor. Open up your heart. Pull your shoulders back. And you can look forward or up to the ceiling. But keep that breath going. The breath is always so important in our practice. One more nice deep breath, and then we're going to bring the hands back to the hips. If you were looking up to the ceiling, obviously you want to look forward now, or else you might fall down, which would not be good. And then we're going to exhale, folding halfway. You can stay right here, or you can fold all the way down, bringing the hands to the blocks or the floor. If you need to bend the front knee, go ahead and do so. But shift that right hip back. The left hip comes forward. Then try to bring your torso down toward your leg. Just breathe through it. And then we're going to inhale, step the left leg up to join the right leg. Let your head lead you. On the inhale, rise back to standing, palms come together. So I'm going to go ahead and move my blocks off of the mat as we go into our balancing posture for tonight. So we're going to do a balance challenge. Woohoo! Because I don't think I've done a balance challenge since I started doing these lives. I could be wrong. But we're going to do one tonight. So we're going to go from tree to baby dancer. So remember, you can do one or the other or both. That's up to you. And if you don't want to do either one, I can't see you, so do what you want to do, right? All right, first thing, find your focal point. That's the most important. Then, when you're ready, get your breath. Nice, strong left leg. We're going to bring the right foot up. You're either going to touch your toes to the floor and just have the foot resting against your shin. You can bring it to the center of your shin, or you can come all the way up into the thigh. Just make sure you're not pushing against your knee. Now you want to actively push this right foot against the left thigh. So you're zipping up through the midline. Breathe. We want to try to have the right knee moving towards the back of us instead of sticking out front. If you want to grow your tree from here, feel free to do so. You can take your arms out to the side. You can go into Anjali Mudra. You can go up into full tree. Or you can come into this little hybrid that I like to do. Just keep the breath going. Then when you're ready, you're going to transition into baby dancer if you're choosing to do both of them. You're going to take your right hand down, release your right foot, grab hold of that foot, and as you open up, you'll bring the left arm up. Whoops! And I fell out of it. So remember, if you fall out of a balancing pose, you need to start from scratch. Don't just pop back into it. So I'm going to find my focal point, get my breath, and there we go. Opening up. Remember, if you need to use a wall for any of this or even a strap for baby dancer, feel free to do so. When you're ready, you can release your arm and then release your foot. And then we'll go to the other side. So once again, you want to find that focal point. Make sure that you've got that when you're ready. Get your breath. And then when you're ready, you're going to take the left foot and take it to wherever you want on the right leg. Make sure that your right thigh is engaged. And then if you want to grow your tree, feel free to grow your tree. Whoop. See, I took my eyes off my focal point and then I almost fell over. That would not have been good. But it wouldn't have been the first time and it won't be the last. You know, sometimes we wobble and we fall over and that's okay. Because we're okay just as we are, you know. No, there's no perfection in yoga. Whenever you're ready to transition to baby dancer, go ahead and release your left hand down to your left foot. And then open up. And again, if you needed the wall for either one of these, I'm glad I got that right there. Go ahead and use it, and I'm out. Something I always want you guys to remember, and I think I've pretty much preached this for the last 6 years. You know, it's never about perfection. It's always about the breath and the journey. And Beth kind of reiterated this to me when she was over here, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was. That we come as we are, and that's how it is. So always just do what you can. Don't worry about the rest, because you're enough, you know? Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not enough, because you are enough. We're all enough. All right, so once we've come out of that, and we're breathing, nice deep breaths, we're going to come about to just a little bit back from the top of our mat. I'm almost in the middle. We're going to take the feet out wide and turn the toes out that way. Okay, so your feet are going to be like that. Y'all know where I'm going with this. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. We're going to go into garland pose. So if you cannot do garland, if it's just not in your wheelhouse right now or never in your toolbox, that's fine. You can transition down to the mat through down dog if you'd like, or you can just come gently to the mat, however you want to do it. So, if you're going to go through garland, bring the hands into Anjali Mudra. On the exhale, we're going to squat down. Yay! And then I'm kind of disappearing out of sight. Ha! So, I'm going to transition the camera down while you guys are doing this. So, just breathe in your garland pose. And I'm going to move the camera down one shelf. I love these shelves because they hold all my props, but I can also move the camera around. Okay, so when we're in garland pose, you can have your heels lifted or you can have them set down. And then you're pushing your triceps against your legs and the palms are together and we're breathing. Nice deep breaths. I love this pose and I could stay in it a really long time. But for some people, this is not doable, so that's okay. We're going to bring the hands down to the mat and I'm going to get my blanket, which I have folded in half because my right knee is still bothering me from the fall in the kitchen. And then I hit it on the counter like 3 times this weekend while I was doing the taxes. So it's a lot painful. All right, so if you need the blanket to cushion your knees, go ahead and got that and put it into place. We're going to come onto all fours. So we want the wrist underneath the shoulders. The fingers are spread nice and wide, middle finger forward, to give you that nice base of support. And we're gonna go into our favorite cat-cow. So you're all at home by yourself, so feel free to make animal noises if you want. And of course, if you don't want, well, then that's okay too. All right, so on your inhale, you're gonna drop the belly, look up to the ceiling. On the exhale, you're gonna bring your chin into your chest, rounding your back. And appropriate noises can be made whenever you want. Moo. Meow. Man, I need Kelly and Mary here to do this. Just keep moving with your breath, nice and slow. Just really stretching your back. Keeping the breath going. Sometimes I like to kind of pause at the top of the inhale and again at the bottom of the exhale. Not really corking the breath, just kind of pausing. Then on your next inhale, turn your toes under. On the exhale, we're going to move back into downward facing dog. Soften your knees, get your hips up in the air, head between the arms, nice deep breaths. And of course, if you are having wrist issues or like Beth just had carpal tunnel release surgery, you can always come down onto your forearms and do dolphin pose instead. All right, let's inhale, taking the left leg up, really lengthen out. And then exhale, we're gonna bring that knee up to the top of the mat, coming into pigeon pose. And of course, if pigeon is not in your toolbox, then don't worry about that. And you just kind of go on with your life, right? You're always welcome to do whatever pose you want because it's your practice, just like this is my practice. But I'm going to do the ones that I can and that I enjoy. I do have pigeon back now, although I can't stay in it very long. So we're just going to keep on breathing. Isn't it nice that we have our yoga practice, especially with everything that's going on in the world? It's crazy. Like if I didn't have this, I'd be going nutsoid. All right. If you were down on your forearms, go ahead and come back up onto your palms. Turn the toes of the back foot under, and we're going to move back into our three-leg down dog. Set that left foot back down on the mat. Get yourself into position again. Inhale, take your right leg up, lengthen out. Exhale, bring that knee up to the top of your mat. Yeah, feels good. Just make sure when you're in pigeon that you're resting on your shin, not rolling over on your hip. So if the hip wants to roll, get a block, prop it under your hip, and that way you'll have some support there and you won't roll over onto that hip. Because we want to try and keep the hips as leveled out with the floor as possible. You can come down onto your forearms if you want. You can stay up on your palms. You can stacked fist, whatever you want to do. Just breathe. That's the most important thing. All right, let's come back up onto the palms very slowly. Turn the toes of the foot, back foot under, not the front foot. That'd be bad. And then we'll move back into our three-leg down dog. Set that foot down on the mat and exhale down onto your knees. So grab your blocks if you have them, and hopefully everybody does have props because it's so helpful. We're going to do our shoulder stretch on the blocks. So you're going to sit down on your legs with your heels under your butt luggage and bring your blocks, and you can have them on the high side or the medium side. I would not turn them to the low side unless you're like really height challenged. Because if you go on the low side, it's going to be a little uncomfortable, I think. So set the blocks out in front of you. Bring your palms together up onto the top of your back. And on the exhale, we're going to come down onto the blocks, resting your upper arms there. And you can adjust your head however you want. So if you want your head to hang down between the blocks, you can do that. If you prefer to keep your head level with your neck, you can do that. So do what feels good for you, but just keep the breath going. This is a nice shoulder opener, which oftentimes are very nice heart openers as well. Because think about when you're drawing your shoulders back, you're opening up your heart. So that's why I'm always telling you guys to relax your shoulders down onto your back. That, and I'm really bossy. But y'all know that. Just breathe. One more nice deep breath. Let it out, and then we'll exhale and come up. So next we're going to go into camel pose. So remember, there's a lot of different variations in camel. You can use blocks. You can use a purple bolster if you want, back behind you. So whichever variation you want is fine, but you want to go ahead and if you need a blanket, if you don't already have it there, go ahead and get it. You're going to bring your legs to about hip width apart, and you can have the tops of your feet flat, or you can turn your toes under, whichever is better for you today. Then you're going to bring your fists to your low back. Guide those elbows in as much as you can. On the exhale, you're going to push the hips forward and then go wherever you want. So you can stay right here. You can lift one arm up and after a few breaths, switch them out. You can walk down your legs to your heels. Ow, that hurt. Or you can use your bolster and walk down to that. And if you want to draw your head back, feel free. Opening up your heart, breathing. And of course, whenever you're ready to come up, you inhale and very gently come up. I can tell I hadn't done that one in a hot minute because my thighs were going, what are you doing? But it's a good back bend and it's a nice chest opener, so we need to do that periodically. Whew, that felt good. All right, so then what we're going to do is just come into child's pose or happy puppy. So if you want to come into child's pose, you're going to bring your toes together, widen your knees out as much as you need to, rest your hips back towards your heels. The arms can be out in front or down by your side. Of course, happy puppy, you're going to come down onto your forearms or your palms, whichever one you prefer. Keep your buns in the air and melt your chest and forehead down to the mat. Just breathe no matter which one you're in. Still nice deep breaths. Of course, y'all know my favorite is happy puppy because it's a nice back stretch. But some people really prefer child's pose, so, you know, that's the nice thing about stuff like this. We have choices. Because it's your practice. And you do it anyhow, whether I told you to or not. Because y'all always hijack my classes. Oh my gosh. See, now if you hijack my practice, I don't know because I can't see you. Oh, there's stuff on my mat. I hate that. Just keep breathing. And then on your next exhale, we'll walk the hands back in and come down to seated. That felt good. Okay, so let's extend the left leg onto the mat, and the foot is going to be flexed. We're going to bring the right foot either to the shin or to the inside of the thigh, whichever is more comfortable for you tonight. And of course, if you need your props for anything, I still have to prop the right leg, go ahead and do that. Pull the buns out from under you, going on a trip, taking that butt luggage. Hands out by your side, fingertips to the mat. Inhale, let's take the arms up, shoulder width apart, palms facing each other. Lengthen coming out of the waist. Take a deep breath, Kelly, an extra one. And exhale, everybody fold from the top of your thighs. Folding into head to knee, Janu Sirsasana. You can take your hands to the outside edges of your foot, to your shins, to the mat. Excuse me. Or if you want to use your strap, you can. Just make sure that you have your elbows guided back by your side. You want the neck neutral. The crown of the head is lined up down your spine. Just breathe. Nice deep inhales. Nice deep exhales. Just slowing ourselves down. Remember that you should have some movement going in all of your seated poses. Well, all of your poses, but seated as well. It may be a small movement. That's fine. One more nice deep breath, and then we're going to exhale and come back up. We're going to go ahead and bring the right foot flat to the mat, adjusting it wherever you need it to be along your leg. And if you need it to go out a little bit towards the side of your mat, that's fine. You want to be comfortable, so don't try and jam it in there so that you're all tight and you don't feel comfortable. We're going to bring the right hand behind us. Inhale the left arm up. On the exhale, we're going to twist to the right, either wrapping your arm around the knee, or you can just hold on to the knee with your hand, or take your arm to the outside of the leg with the palm up or down. That's up to you. Looking to your right or over your shoulder, just using your back hand for very light support. Marichyasana 3. Nice twist. And then we'll exhale and turn forward. Extend the right leg onto your mat. Bring the left foot to the inside or to the shin. Pull your buns out once again, second half of the trip. Bring the fingertips out to the floor beside you. Inhale the arms up. Lengthen coming out of the waist. Take your extra breath, Kelly, and fold forward. Oh yeah, that feels so good. Oh my goodness. So once again, your hands will go wherever you want. Keep your back as flat as you can. Just breathe. You know, everybody's so upset lately, it's almost like we're afraid to breathe. Well, we probably are afraid to breathe because we don't want to get sick, but we gotta take time to slow down, calm down, focus on our breath. Relax. Feel the hamstrings just lengthen out. And then at the end of your exhale, walk your hands back in. Bring the left foot flat to the mat, the left hand behind you. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, twist to the left. And again, you can look to your left or over your shoulder. Nice deep breaths in this twist. And then we'll exhale and turn forward. So let's go ahead and extend the right leg out to the side. We're going to bring the left foot to the inside of the thigh. So we're going to prepare to go into revolved head to knee. So we'll see how I do in this one. We're going to bring the right hand down to the shin, resting your elbow there, probably on the inside of your knee. Just don't push against the knee. The left hand will come onto your lower back. On the inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine nice and tall. On the exhale, we're going to rotate the chest towards the ceiling. You can look up or down. If you want to bring your left arm up and over, feel free to do so. If that doesn't feel so hot, then don't do it. But try to open your chest up. Once again, we're kind of focusing on some heart openers tonight. Because of course when you're in crisis mode, you tend to close yourself off. You're trying to protect yourself. But then all that stuff gets trapped up inside and all the emotions, and then what happens is what happened to me yesterday when I basically had a meltdown at the office and picked a fight with Ken, and it was really kind of ugly. So you've got to release all that emotion when it's safe to do so, and in, you know, your own home, I think you're safe to do that. Then we'll look down to the right leg, release the hand off the low back, and come back up. Let's extend the left leg out to the side. We're going to bring the right foot to the inside of that left thigh. And again, if you need to prop anything up, go ahead and do so. Left hand comes down to the shin, resting the elbow. Right hand comes onto the lower back with the palm facing out. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, rotate. And again, looking up or down. And if you want to extend the right arm, you can. Up and over, that's up to you. You know, I'm not trying to get anybody into a tight little ball or anything like that. I just want to open up the heart. That's the key. And breathe. That's the other key. Then let's look down to the leg. If your arm's extended, go ahead and bring the hand back onto your lower back. Exhale, coming up. Yeah. Let's bring both feet flat to the mat. Grab hold of your knees. Open up wide. And lift up into, I've named this officially Birthing Baby Asana, because I can. Then we'll bring the soles of the feet together. You can adjust your heels wherever you want in relation to your pelvis, whether you want them in or further out, that's up to you. Interlace your fingers around your toes or grab hold of your ankles. On the exhale, we're going to pull down into bound angle. Keeping your back flat and your neck neutral. This one still doesn't feel so great for me, so I'm going to come out of it, but you guys stay in it for a couple of breaths. Some of these posers are still a work in progress. Some are halfway there. I'm getting there. My feet still feel crappy, but oh well. That's life. All right, then let's exhale and come out of that very gently, coming back up, and we'll bring the knees back together. So we're going to go ahead and come down onto our backs. So, of course, if you have a clippy or a ponytail, time to remove that. So come on down to your back, however you want to do it. Nice and gentle. Let's bring the feet flat to the mat. Oh, no, you can't see me again. That's all right. You're on your back. You don't need to see me. Just listen to me. All right, let's bring the soles of the feet together, and we're going to let the knees fall out to the side, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle. And of course, if you need any support for this, go ahead and prop up with bolsters or blocks or whatever you want to do. You can take your arms overhead, interlacing your fingers with the index fingers pointed. Or you can have your hands to your thighs or on your belly, resting on top of each other. If you want to do the neck pull, feel free to do that for a couple of breaths. Not too long, because you don't want to pull too hard. And then rest your head back down and rest your hands wherever you want. Just breathe. Relaxing your back into the mat. One more nice deep breath. Release it out and gently bring the knees back together. All right, let's make sure that we have the ankles underneath the knees and the feet are about hip width apart. Arms are down by your side with the palms flat to the mat. On the inhale, you're gonna lift those hips in the easy bridge. If you wanna roll and tuck your shoulders underneath, you can, you don't have to. Make sure that your knees are pushing towards one another, hugging into the midline, and release the chin away from your chest so you're looking at the ceiling behind you. I can't say ceiling tiles anymore because we don't have ceiling tiles. We just have a ceiling. How about that? Breathe. Keep those hips lifted. And then we'll exhale, coming all the way down. Release your shoulders out if you have them under you. Bring the knees into your chest, and you can either cross your ankles and rock in cradle rock, or you can come into happy baby, whichever you prefer. And of course, in happy baby, you're going to have the feet in the air, the elbows to the inside, hands to the outside of the feet, and widen, and you can rock in that too. That just doesn't feel really good to me. I much prefer cradle rock. I think that's a very personal choice, cradle rock or happy baby. Just rock and breathe. If you need to stop and really kind of roll around on a part of your back that's bothering you today, go ahead and do that. And then we'll come to a stop. Extend your left leg straight out onto the mat. We're going to keep the right knee into the body. The left hand will go to that knee, and the right arm will go to the outside of the body. On the exhale, we're going to twist down to the left. So just taking that right knee down to your left, keeping your shoulders as flat to the mat as possible, and you can look up to the ceiling or over your right shoulder in revolved abdomen. Just breathe. We want to get a nice twist in this, but we want to make sure that we're not pushing so far that we're trying to get that knee down to the floor, you know? It's not about that. But we want that nice stretch in the glute and in the hip. Then we'll inhale, bringing that knee back up. Give it a little tug. Take the leg out onto the mat. Inhale the left knee in. Take the left arm out to the side of the body. The right hand goes to that knee. And exhale, we're going to twist down to the right. Once again, keep your shoulders as flat to the mat as possible. And you can look up to the ceiling or over your left shoulder. That's up to you. Just keep breathing. And of course, on one side, you're probably going to feel more of a pull in your hip and in your glute than you did on the other side. For me, it's this side. So, you know, that's just because we're not perfectly symmetrical. Then we'll inhale that knee back up, give it a little tug, extend it out on your mat, and then let's go ahead and get ready to come into Shavasana. So whatever you want tonight for Shavasana, whether you want blankets, bolsters, blocks, eye pillows, anything that you want, go ahead and get settled. And we're going to take the legs out to the width of the mat and let the feet and ankles roll out to the side of the body. And then you're going to bring your arms down by your side, or you can rest your hands on your belly on top of each other if you want. Let's go ahead and close the eyes and bring your breath back to its natural rhythm. And I want you to just focus on your breath and relax into the mat. And just for the next 5 minutes, I really want you to just focus on your breath and try to clear your head as much as possible. Let's start to gently come out of Shavasana. Very slowly getting some movement back into your bodies. When you're ready, you can roll over to one side and rest for a breath or two before coming gently back to seated. Just focusing on the breath. And as we come back to seated, we'll bring our hands into Anjali Mudra. My final thought for tonight is that sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths. And I think that that's something that we need to remember right now because we're all kind of being tested by everything that's going on in the world. Thank you so much for joining me in my practice tonight. Namaste. Hope everybody is doing well and staying healthy, and I'll see you guys soon. Love you.